My name is Barbara Ellis and I am from Welbeeing. I'm going to be introducing the Shibashi 18 forms. I'm recording this so that people can practice this within their own homes, as well as hopefully come to class. I will break down the Shibashi into sections so that you can learn each part of it, but you will also have a section where you'll see the whole 18 forms put together. I hope you enjoy the process. Shibashi 18 forms is, well, let me just explain a little bit about Shibashi Qigong. Qigong is two words, made up of two words, Qi and Gong. Qi is, in Chinese medicine, is everything. It's the energy of the world, it's the energy of what we breathe, it's the food we eat, it's our blood, it's our muscles, it's everything that we produce energy. And when we're doing Shibashi, it's about moving that energy, so that's the Gong part of it. It's all about movement. So basically, if you translate it into Western terms, it's exercise, but it's much gentler than the kind of exercise we sort of think about. So the Qigong is very much mindful exercise. When we do each movement, we practice it over and over so that it becomes almost second nature to us. So we're moving this energy through our bodies, and when we do this, it makes us feel more vital. Just by the very fact of any exercise that you do, it feels fantastic, doesn't it? Well, Qigong is great for people who have never done exercise and need to get back into it, or want to do something but they're a bit stiff and want some movement that will help their joints and their muscles. Qigong can really help with that. So if you're an athlete who's looking for something a little bit more gentle, Shibashi can actually help you to get into really good exercise without overtaxing your body. And if you're someone who is suffering from any kind of medical illness, this is also a great way of doing it. So I hope you can follow the program. Doing each exercise individually is just as good as doing the whole thing as one. And you need to practice each one very carefully and to get the best out of using the Shibashi. The first movement is called the commencing form. And to get into that movement, we have to get balance. And our balance is through our whole body, through the feet, the ankles, the knees, up to the hips, and so on right up to the head. So we get ourselves in balance, keeping our knees soft. And to move into the commencing form, we just step out very slightly to the left, lifting our foot, taking the weight into the right leg first, enables you then to get balance. So from this central position, take the weight into the right leg, bending the knees ever so slightly, and step out. And getting ourselves comfortable into the Buji stance. So from here, once you're focused and ready, we can begin. And the commencing form begins with your wrists leading. So the arms here are quite soft, so there's kind of like a circle of movement through the hands. If you're carrying a massive ball, the hands are facing down, and we'll lead up with the back of the wrist. And when we get to shoulder height, we turn the hands so that the wrists lead back down. And as we do this, we sink down through our knees. So that when we come back up, we push back up through the legs. And then we sink back down. Now I'm going to show you this in side movement so that you can see that there's a slight forward movement of this. Okay, so from here, when we get into that position and breathe in, we breathe in as we come up, leading up, and moving ever so slightly forward and up. And as I sink down, I sink back down as I'm going to sit down. So that moment has a very, very subtle circular movement of the body as we do this. Our feet are flat on the floor, and we push forward slightly and up, and sink back down. Always be aware that when you come up, not to lock the knees back. Okay, so we're always soft in the knees. So from the front view again, starting in position, bringing our arms up to shoulder height, and then pushing back down. You don't see that circular movement quite so much of the body in the front view, but believe you me, I am doing it. Now, just a couple of other things to remember is not to stretch your arms. The whole movement is done with bent arms. So we want to kind of have this gap between our our chest and our arms here. So there's a slight gap when we start off. So it becomes very circular, even in this movement. Everything is soft and gentle. And we breathe in as we come up and breathe out as you go down. And at the end of that movement, we move then on to the second movement. The second form is broadening the chest. So when we finished the commencing form, we brought our hands up and come to rest back down. The broadening the chest is just an extension of this. We're going to take our arms out to the side, and as we do this, we open the chest and look up, bringing the hands back to the centre point. Now for this one, again, the same kind of attitude with your arms, where it's nice and soft and circular. So you're moving up gently with your hands bent down, so the back of the wrist is leading again. We're coming up, but this time we open the hands out, but the back of the hands are leading. So we come up and we open the chest to the side. And at the end of the movement, where you feel that expansion of opening to there, where you feel you can't go any further, you lead back by bending the hands out and leading back as we did with the first movement. Now with this one, the idea is that you take a breath all the way through, leading out to the side, breathing in, and then we breathe out as we come back down. If you find that you haven't got enough expansion of your chest, that you can't take that full breath, do it in stages, so that when we come up, you're breathing in, and you breathe out as you go out. And then when you come back in, you breathe in, and you breathe out as you go down. In time, as you do this more and more, and your breathing becomes deeper, you will eventually take it from the whole movement on an in-breath, and then on an out-breath. Now with this one, again, it's leading with the wrists, so our hands are bent out, but they're very soft. It's not like I'm holding my hands really rigid as I do in any of these movements. It's quite soft, so that when I get to this point, I just feel like I'm opening gently, looking up, coming back, and sinking down. Now again, you notice that I'm bending my knees. As I come down, my knees are bent a bit more, and I'm pushing up again. And if I lift side on, you'll see that very slight forward movement. So when I'm in this position, I'm pushing forward. And then I'm slightly leaning back as I open my chest, not leaning way back, because then you're going to lock your back and that can cause problems. The idea is to come up gently and lean slightly back as you look up and opening your chest, coming back and sinking down. Again, pushing forward ever so slightly, which enables you then to open more and slightly lean back and then breathe out as you come back down. Okay, at the end of this movement, as we come back, we bring our hands down to the centre. Now this part of the body that we've talked about before is the dantian, which is between your umbilicus and your pubic bone. This area, the gate of life. We bring the hands in to the centre. We're not touching the hands one in front of the other. And that's the beginning of the third form. So we're now on to...
Start again. Now.
We're now on to the third form, dancing with rainbows. So as we brought the hands down to the centre in front of the dantian, one hand is in front of the other. And as we lead up, the centre of the body. You're breathing in, coming up through the centre of the body to above the head. Now my left hand is above my right hand at this point. Now in some of the Shivashi you will see some people will just do it from this point and go out like this. Now that's a great way to start, just getting this movement, moving from one leg, slightly turning and presenting. And this is how we start this form, just when we first do a class together. But as we get more advanced, which is where I want to take you with this part of the video. So what we're going to do is take you through this more advanced movement. So we've come up, the centre of the body, left hand is over the right. My weight shifts into my left leg and I'm going to turn towards the right. Now in order to do that safely, I lift my right foot onto my heel so that my foot turns, and I'm going to keep my foot, my toes up. So I'm now going to be able to lean over this leg. So in order to do this comfortably, I'm coming up the centre of the body, weight into the left leg, lifting my foot, and I now can present my right hand over my right foot. And then as I come back up, my right hand is over my left hand. So in order to do it the other way, I shift my weight into my right leg, turn my foot, keeping my toes up, and I can present over my left leg. Come back to the centre, and you can see what I'm doing is I'm bringing my foot round from my heel. This is a lot easier because it protects your knees doing it this way. So if I was just to try and lean over like this, you'd see I'd be kind of really quite stiff and tight. But by allowing myself to turn, by taking the weight into my right leg, lifting my foot, I can turn to face that way and present my arm over neatly. And if you notice, this knee is above my foot. What I try and avoid at all times is coming in like this on either leg, because that causes problems with your knees. So that's why we shift the weight from one leg to the other. So let me show you again from the centre point, bringing my hands in, up the centre of the body, above the head. My weight you can see shifted over. My foot is turning, I'm looking towards this side. And I'm going to present my lower hand, my right hand, over my right leg. Then I can come back up. That hand rests above the other hand. Now the breathing for this, I'll do the same movement again. I'm going to come up the centre of the body. Again, I'm keeping my knees soft. Coming up. I'm taking a breath in. As I turn, I'm now going to breathe out. Come back up. Take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in and breathe out. So one side, when you start the movement, you're breathing in and then you're breathing out. When we come back to the other way, we're breathing in. And then we're breathing out. Breathing in and then out. And that's, when we finish that movement, we bring the hands back down the centre of the body, back to the Dantian. And that's the end of the third form, Dancing with Rainbows. Circling arms is the fourth form. When we've finished dancing with rainbows and we've brought our hands back down the centre of the body to the Dantian, this part again we talk about, our hands going in that same position, one hand over the other. And we're going to now do circling arms, number 4. So from here it's a similar movement to dancing with rainbows at the beginning. We bend our knees slightly, push up, Come all the way up above the head, looking at your arms as you come up. And at this point, we separate them. And to do that, we bring the fingers forward and then follow it in a circular movement all the way around and sink back down. Bringing the hands into the dantian. Again, up through the centre of the body. You breathe in as we come up. Turning the fingers forward and then letting your hands gently come round and push down to the sides. Again, you can see it's very, very gentle. And again, I'm pushing that weight forward slightly through my legs as I come up. I'm looking at my hands and then I'm looking straight ahead. So I'm following my hands down to the dantian, then up the centre of the body on an in-breath, turning my hands out, keeping my wrists soft and allowing the movement, my arms to come back to the centre, back to the dantian. This is quite a simple movement, you just see it from the side. Again, I'm taking my hands, brought my hands down the centre of the body from the previous movement. Then I'm coming up, pushing up, following my hands, turning them out and sinking back down. And back to the dantian. And that's the fourth movement, the fourth form, circling arms. Okay, now we're at the number 5 on the Shibashi, the fifth form, which is twisting waist, swinging arm. Now this is quite a complex movement. There's quite a lot going on with this, so I'm going to build it up piece by piece. When we finish circling arms, we bring the hands down towards the dantian. If you're finishing the move and finishing your session, you would stop here. But when we're going to go on to flow to the next form, as we bring our hands down, this time we're going to form a circle, like as if we were holding a ball. So when I bring my hands, I'm bringing them round like this, into front of the ball at the hands, I'm now going to form holding a ball in front of my body. See from the front? This is where my hands would end up. So, in order to do this one, actually, I'm going to bring my hands down. I want to have my right hand above my left hand. So from here, let's just break this down into little sections. I want to be able to bring my right hand, the top hand, past my body. Now, in order to do that comfortably, I really have to shift my weight over to allow me to then turn so that my hand comes past. If I just stand here and do that, I can't turn and I'm liable to hurt my back. So watch what I'm doing from the front here, shifting my weight, still keeping some weight in this leg. I'm taking my weight. As I turn, you can see I can turn my upper body behind. As I do this, my palm then is face up. I stand side on from this position, shift my weight, I turn, I'm looking at my hand as I do this. Now to turn, you turn your hand over at this point, and you can only do it one way. Turning your hand over, you're going to bring it up past the ear, watching your hand as you come forward, and it comes over the top of the other hand. At this point, you turn the hands over. And from here, as I turn my hands over, I shift my weight into the other leg. And then I can turn and look behind as I take my hand back. I turn it, and then I bring it back up past my ear, no higher than that, to land over the top of the other hand. Now what happens when you come forward with your hand, your body shifts back to the centre point. It's kind of like coming up like this, okay? So I'm going from here, I would turn my hands over and do it again. Pushing back, turn my hand over to come back. I'm looking at my hand as I raise it. I'm not raising it up here. I'm keeping it nice and soft as I come back past my ear. Forward, over the top of the other hand. And how we breathe with this one is that when we shift the weight, you're taking a breath in. We breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. It really is a kind of more natural movement. When you're breathing, when you're moving your hands, just allow the breath to come gently. And you'll find a rhythm when you want to breathe in and out. I'm kind of saying to you, breathe in, doing it this way, breathing in and breathing out. But do this one in a breath which is comfortable for you. You may see in some Shibashi that they do the hand movement slightly differently. When we're here, when we start this movement, you'll see sometimes that the hand starts like this and bringing the hand back. And at this point, you'll see them turning their hands to land over the top. So this hand is still in the facing down. For ease, I'm getting you to turn both hands at the front. Some of the Shibashi you may see that they turn the hand over when you turn the hand back at the back. And the hand will turn over from at the front at the same time. So you'll see them like this, doing that. That gets quite complicated. So let's just stick with turning our hands at the front. Is there anything else? Watching your hands as you go past is quite important because it allows you, your eye follows and it allows that twisting movement. If you're still staring ahead doing that, this all becomes kind of out of alignment and it feels uncomfortable. So doing it from here, look at the hand, look at yourself turning it over and bringing it back past your ear. And as you do that, your head is coming forward, which then makes you come back to that central place. Doing it from this side, watching my hand, turning it over, I'm still watching it, and as I'm watching it, my body naturally comes back to the central point. We've finished the fifth form, and now we're going to move on to the sixth form, which is rowing the boat. So when we have come to the end of this movement, twisting waist, swinging arm, the hands come down the side of the body, and this is the beginning of the next form. So from here, we're going to take our hands behind our back and raise them up and round. Now, again, this is one of those things that as you do this more and more, you get more flexibility in your arms and your shoulders. If you've got any pain or discomfort in your shoulders, be very, very gentle with what you do with this. You may only be able to do this, and that's fine. The movement is about using the shoulders as much as you can and allowing your arms to lead you around this movement. And that's maybe all you can do with your arms. But if you've got a bit more flexibility and a bit more movement in there, you take your hands down by your side, palms facing behind, and then as you get to that point where you can go no further, turning your hands over, keeping your elbows soft, you bring the arms up over the head and round. Now, in your back, you may feel that there's some movement of your shoulder blades. Some people may not have that. But the idea is, as we do this more and more, you should get more flexibility in your back so that you can feel this movement between your shoulder blades. So when we come down, when we come from the previous movement, bringing our hands here, we bring them down by the side, both palms facing behind. Taking the arms back, where you feel you can't go any further, you're turning. Keeping the elbows soft, raise them up above the head, and then back round. Now the rest of the movement comes in the body. So like all the movements so far, we're going to sink up and down. So when I end it, moving from one movement to the next, coming down and sink, you can see I'm bending my knees more as I bring my hands down. Pushing them behind, turning them over and raising up. So from here, sinking down. Push my hands behind, turn them over and coming back up again. So I'm pushing down and raising up as I bring my hands up. Again, it's that kind of movement where you're coming slightly forward and up. And show you from the front again, so I'm coming from here, hands down, pushing up, and I'm going to look up at my hands and then follow them down. Bring your head up gently to look at your hands and follow them down. Now the breath, from this point I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in, rising up, looking up and press down. And as we come to the end of this movement, if we were finishing, we would just bring the hands back into the dantian. Number 7 on the Shibashi is holding a ball. So from here, when we've brought the hands down from rowing a boat, we're sinking down. We're going to take the right hand and I'm going to scoop round as I sink down in front of my body and bringing the hand across and rising up. Now from here, again, there's a slight shift in movement. So when I come down, everything's central. When I come down, I scoop around with my right hand. As I come across the front of my body, I'm moving my weight into my left leg and rising up. Through the weight of this, I'm still in balance with this leg at the side. So as I come down, I'm scooping over, shifting the weight and lifting my hand up. And I follow my hand with my eye. As I come down, my hand turns over, my weight will start to come back to the centre, and as I'm bringing this hand down, I'm now going to bring my left hand into play and come across my body and rise up. So from the beginning of the movement, we're taking the hands down, scooping out with the right hand and across the front, and raising my weight through my left leg. Pulling down with this hand, pushing down with this hand, we come down in front of the body, bringing in the left hand across the body to the right. Again, I'm moving my weight across into my right leg as I come up, and I look up at my hand. And this becomes a lovely gentle movement across the body and rising up. Turning the hand over. When you get to the end of the movement of coming up, don't stop. It's a movement that continues. When you come round, I come up, I turn, and then come back down. When I come across, I come up. At the end of the movement, I turn and come back down. For breathing with this one, again, let's take it from the beginning. We're going to breathe in, breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in, and breathing out. Now, if this movement is nice and flowing, when you come down with this hand, this other hand here, my right hand, should be starting to scoop. So it too is not static. So as I come up, with this hand now, as I come across, if you watch my left hand, as I come down, I'm pushing it back as this hand is coming forward. As I push it back, you can see I'm still moving that back hand. Now it's turning and it's coming forward. This takes a bit of practice because you're kind of thinking this, you've got to think about each hand as you're doing it. The idea is not to allow it just to rest there. If you can, moving one, maybe coming down, and then you'll see my other hand is still moving as I make that across my body. You may need to speed it up slightly to be able to get that whole movement in there. There's no right and wrong. It's not about saying you have to do it this way. But if you get that slight movement of your back hand, keeping it going as you're moving the front hand, it allows for that lovely continuous movement and flow of energy that we talked about at the beginning. And at the end of this movement, when we come across with our left hand, to come to the center, we come to the center, and our both hands rest at waist level, just on your hip. The end of when we've carried holding the ball, we go straight into carrying movement. The two movements are very similar as when we finished holding the ball, coming up, when we come back down, this time both hands are going to move together. So we're just bringing my right hand across the front of the body as if I'm holding the moon, carrying the moon, sorry, and we're coming up, and we're going to take both hands together. Can you see I'm still shifting my weight across so that it allows me to stretch up slightly to the left side. And when I come back down, take both hands together. I'm keeping them as if I'm holding a ball. The ball as I'm bringing it down. But we call this carrying the moon. Very similar, but we just use two hands. Again, it's coming down. When you get to the end of the card, lifting it up to the end of the movement, we come straight back down. We don't stop and hold. It's about keeping it moving, rising up from one leg, shifting the weight across the body, through the centre, and rising up the other side. At the end of carrying the moon, we bring the hands back down to the centre, sinking through our knees to the centre, and we rest the hands at waist level, palms up. So my pelvis is here. I just bring my elbows in, not touching my body, but just gently bring them in. So this is number 9 in the Shivashi, and this form is called pushing hands, twisting waist. Now it's quite complex, this one. There's quite a lot built up into this movement. So I'm going to do the first part, which is just pushing hands. And to do this, we need to be getting a rhythm going. So it's kind of like one hand and then the other. To do this slowly, we start off with our hands resting at waist level. So we're going to push forward. Right? So I'm going to push forward with my right hand. And as I turn it, I now start to push forward with my left hand, and they cross about the central point from my body to the end of the movement. So as I come forward with this one, I'm now coming forward with the other one. So it becomes a lovely, gentle back and forward with each hand. And the idea is when you push forward, it's palm up, palm forward. So I'm pushing through the energy. And now I'm turning it and I'm pulling it back to my body. So it's pushing forward and then pushing with the other hand. So it becomes a lovely rhythm. And as you see, I'm crossing here in the middle, one hand over the other. And there is a reason for that, which I will explain at some point. But the palms should not touch, but they just gently come across at the centre point, one over the other. That means that you're not doing this, one hand either side. You're actually taking the energy in front of your heart, and that's quite important for the rest of the movement. So when you've built up this lovely rhythm that we're doing here, and you've got that and you really feel you can do this well, we can move on to the next part of it. When we do pushing hands, twisting knees, we move from side to side, one leg, then the other. To do this, moving your right hand forward, move your weight through to the right leg. Then when we go to the left hand coming forward, move the weight to the left leg. And keeping my knees soft, this leg here feels as if it's lengthening from this point in the leg. I'm keeping this knee over my foot so that it's not coming in like this. This is important for the next part of the move. Because when you move over, you should always still feel as if you're holding strong through both legs. So as I push forward, my weight is into the right leg. Push my left hand forward, it's into the left leg. And I'm pushing through. Keeping my hands in front of my heart. And you will notice that I'm looking straight ahead. So I'm shifting from one leg to the other. Left hand, left leg. Right hand, right leg. Now there's more to this movement. There is a slight twist in the body. Okay, so from moving the right hand forward and shifting the weight, I'm going to slightly twist my body to do this. So let me just get into the rhythm so I can explain. Right, yes, I'm slightly turning my chest as I'm doing this. So from the side, when I do this from this angle, I'm moving. You can see I'm still looking ahead, but I have opened, I have pulled my body around, and then I do the same the other way. What happens then when you do that is you feel a lot more movement in the back, in your back and in your chest. So let's try this again. So I'm going to get the rhythm with my hands. Then I'm going to start moving from one leg to the other, and then I'm going to twist. And it all comes through, I'm looking ahead. I'm not looking to the side, because that changes how your chest will move. The head is central. My legs are still in that position where there's no twist in my legs. It's all happening up here in the upper body. So pushing forward, pull back, open. Open my chest as I pull back. You see it from the side? And when I do this, I really feel my muscles in the back really working, which is great for building up a little bit of strength in your upper body. Now you can do this as a cardiovascular movement if it's something you want to do separate from the Shivashi, but the idea is it's very slow. So coming forward, and then pulling back, and twisting, pushing forward, and pulling back. Watch from the side, pulling back. Keeping my head central. Now breathe in. You breathe in one way, breathe out. And that determines the speed of how you do this. Your depth breath will determine how fast you do this. Doing it very slowly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. this one takes a lot of practice. So have a go of doing this separate to putting it into the form. As I say, it's a great cardiovascular movement. You can do this as an exercise just in itself. You can really speed it up. The idea in the Shibashi is we do it very slowly. And at the end of this movement, twisting weights, pushing hands, twisting weights, we bring both hands back to the waist to rest. The next form is playing with clouds. We've come back to rest with our hands at waist level. Now we're sinking down to our knees slightly and turning, taking our weight into the right leg. I'm going to bring my right hand across my body. Now as you see, as I do this, taking the weight across, my body can twist to look that way. So from here, I'm bringing my hand across, I'm bringing it palm facing my body past the dantian, looking that way, and then raise my hand up. So it becomes kind of floating as I come up. And then I'm going to shift my weight across, but this time I'm going to bring my left hand underneath, and I'm going to float across. And as I float across, my weight transfers over to the left leg. I'm taking my body now to look towards the right. Again, you can see my hands together. And to turn to come the other way, I'm going to drop my right hand down and lift my left hand. And I'm going to swing back slowly across the front of my body to the other side. And this movement, you've got to imagine you're holding clouds, and clouds are very fluffy and light. So everything with this movement should feel light. When you're coming back from the right side across the body, my weight is shifting now over to the right leg. I'm going to drop my left hand down as I raise up my right hand. The weight shifts back across the centre and then over to the left as I turn to the right. Drop down my right hand, lift up my left, and shift. And it all becomes very, very floaty, very gentle. And you breathe in one way, drop your hand, lift the other one, and breathe out as you turn and go the other way. Watching again, being very careful with your legs. We often, when we're turning from one side to the other, if you don't shift the weight across to the side from one leg to the other, you end up turning, and look where my knee ends up, away from being in line over my toe. It's very, very important that as you shift the weight and bend your knee, you should just see your toes and no more. Again, shifting this way, my weight is taken across. If I was doing it and not shifting my weight over, watch what happens to my legs. I actually quite find this quite hard to do. I'm doing that. Do you see? I'm shifting my weight that way. So what happens then, actually, the weight doesn't stay in this leg as I turn to the right. It moves back into my right leg, and that's when I twist my knees. So be aware of these little things that we can prevent injury by shifting the weight across. We allow our bodies to turn gently and keep this weight in the correct place so we do not injure our knees. At the end of this movement, when we finish coming back to the centre, bringing our right hand up, come back to the centre, and again resting the hands at the waist. Palms up, and the weight is soft through the knees. At the end of playing with clouds, this movement is the first one where we move out of our central point. We're actually going to step forward. Now, in some of the Shibashi movements, videos, you may see some people will do it all to one direction. And this is, there's 3 sections in this. There's scooping from the sea, pushing waves, and spreading our wings. And we do this all. If you look at some of the videos, you'll see some of them doing it all to one direction. What I have found in my classes is that they get very sore in one leg. So what we have done is split it. So we do 6 to one direction and 6 to the other. And that they feel is much more balanced. So this is how we're going to do this. When we finish the movement before, our hands are resting at the waist. We take the weight into the right leg, and as we do this, rise up onto the toe of your left leg. And very gently, when you're ready, you feel balanced to take a step, you just basically lay your foot down. You're not taking a massive step forward. You want to still be in balance. And the way to do that is rising up onto the toe, and then just when you're ready, take that step forward. It's not a huge step. If I was to do a huge step, I would be overbalanced then when I'm doing the part of the movement. This way, for me, my step is quite small. Now, from here, we're going to scoop from the sea. So you want to imagine that you're taking water out of the sea, and we're bringing our hands out. As we do this, we lean forward onto the front leg, bending over. And you'll notice my back is still quite straight. And I'm going to just gently lift, taking our hands, holding them together, scooping up above our head, right above the head. And then separating the hands to come down by the side. As we do this, your weight will shift back into the other leg, which is the back leg. So it's my right leg, and my weight is shifting back. So I'm slightly leaning a little bit back, but not too much, because again, I don't want to overbalance. I want this foot, the front, to be still holding as well. So as I scoop up, take the weight back into the back leg, my hands come down, and as they come down, I lean forward again. I'm not going right down to the ground. That would cause me to bend too much out of alignment with my back. I'm always aware of protecting my back when I come out of alignment, when I come forward or bend over. So from here, I'm keeping my back straight, I'm looking down, watching my hands as I come up, and then I separate my hands, weight is back in the back leg, and I come down. You can breathe in as you lift up and breathe out as you come forward. Now do this 6 times, and then we go straight into pushing waves. And to do that, bring your hands back down to this point, and then we push the hands forward. And that takes us to the next movement. So from here, slightly different. Instead of going down, we're going to push it up and forward. And to be able to do that, the weight comes forward into the front leg, and we lift the heel of the back leg, which enables us to push that energy forward. But what I'm doing is taking the weight into that front leg. I'm still holding strong, though my foot is raised up onto the toe. I'm pushing forward. I can still feel there's some weight in my back foot. I've lifted my heel. To pull back, the hands drop down, and as we do that, sink back into the back leg, putting the heel back onto the floor, we lift the toe of the front leg. The weight is still in both legs, but more so in the back leg. Pushing forward, lift the heel of the back leg. Pulling back, lift the toe of the front leg. So we're just pushing and pulling. And as we push forward, we turn the hands. We're not bending them really tight. We're just bringing them up and pushing them through the movement. At the end of the movement, we pull back. We can breathe in as we go forward and breathe out as we pull back. Just imagine you're pushing water away and then you're pulling it back towards your body. Now when we've done this 6 times, pull back, we're now going to spread our wings, which is the next form. And as we do this pulling back, we take the hands out to the side, opening the hands out so the palms are now forward. We're going to do the same movement, bringing the hands forward in a circular movement, spreading your wings. Imagining that your arms are wings. As we come round, you will notice that my arms are still quite soft and not stretched out, they're not locked back. I pull out and bring my hands across the front of my body. It's a nice wave. Imagine wings have got the feathers at the end. So as you pull in, imagine those feathers and you're going to pull out, stretch out and scoop. Again, I'm lifting the heel of my back leg and the toe of my front leg. Now, for people who are quite flexible, you can actually feel your body kind of tilting back. Be careful because you can overbalance. The idea is from here, as you pull back, opening your arms out, just be very gentle with what you do here. I have seen people going, oh, like this as you do this. So the idea is to keep balance all the way through the movement. Open your hands out, scoop forward, pull back, raise the toe, coming forward, raise the heel. Now, at the end of this movement, because I split this, we come back to the centre. So we've done this 6 times. Coming back to the centre, bring my hands to the waist. I step back, get my weight balanced, take the weight into the left leg, and step forward, and we repeat the whole thing going the other way. So scooping from the sea, my weight is balanced for both legs. I'm going to lean forward, taking my hands out to the side, and I'm going to lean forward and scoop from the sea. Exactly the same as we did on the other side, but this just gives a bit more balance. Now just push waves, the weight is in my back leg as I bring my hands down. I come forward, lift the heel, pull back, then lift the toe. Push forward, pull back. Push forward, pull back. Now spreading the wings, taking my hands out to the side, palms out, palms are facing at this point, then I turn over. My hands are now facing forward, and we do the same movement we did the other way. Oops. And we come. Making sure you don't overbalance like I just did. Keep your heel on the floor. If you've taken too big a step, like what I must have done, I must have taken too big a step, which is why I kind of felt out of balance. By stepping just a little bit closer, I have much more balance. So when I lift my toe, I feel okay. So doing that, coming back, and at the end of the movement, we go back to the centre. The hands rest at the waist, taking the weight in my back leg. I lift, place my other foot, and come to the centre. And that's the end of those 3 movements. Scooping from the sea, pushing waves, and spreading your wings. Number 14 in the Shivashi 18 forms is called punching. And when we've come back from spreading our wings, we're back in the centre position. From here, we're going to again be using our hands, one and then the other. Now in martial arts, you will see people they will be pushing quite firmly with hands, but at the end of it, they let go. And this is very similar to this, but it's much more gentle. So from here, again, I'm going to break this down into a little section. So we start off with our hands facing, palms facing up. We make a gentle fist. It's not a tight fist. When I make a fist, I really roll my fingers in. I place my thumb over the top of the middle finger, but you can see it's still quite loose. Now the energy is in your hand. As you push forward, we turn the hand over, and at the end of the movement, we take a little grasp of energy and pull it back to the body. From the side, as I push forward, my hand turns over, so it's like I'm pushing that energy into something. Pushing forward, making this fist, and then turn at the end of it and pull it back. If you get yourself doing this, keeping the fist shape as you pull back, push forward, let go, and pull back. And as you let go, you open the fingers. And what you want to do with this is, as you open the fingers, you reach out with the hand. It's almost like you're starting with the pinky, the little finger, and working around to grasp the energy back into your hand. It's like a fan. So you've got a closed fist, open, fan out, and pull back. You have to do this with the other hand as well. So one hand, then the other. Again, it's a rhythm that you will learn as you practice this. One hand letting go, pulling back, push forward with the other hand. So it becomes a continuous movement. It's a bit like the one where we did pushing hands, twisting waist. Or is it twisting waist, pushing hands, whichever. We're pushing forward, grasping and pulling back. Push forward, grasp and pull back. That's your hands. And as you practice this, you'll start to feel that movement again between your shoulder blades. You'll feel the muscles at the back of your back moving as you do this. So again, there's a shift of weight. As we push forward, we move the weight. If we're moving our right hand, we move the weight into the right leg. So I'm moving across, grasp, pull back, move across, grasp, pull back. And this becomes a much more dynamic movement then. Again, you can do a little bit of a twist just to get that power into it. But with Qigong, always remember, no matter what movement you do, we're not doing martial arts. This is gentle. So even when we're punching, we let go at the end of it. It's gentle. It becomes flowing. And that's always about Qigong, is flow. So moving across, twisting very slightly, but I'm looking ahead. I'm looking at my hand at the end of the movement, pulling that energy back. From the side, I'm moving, you can see I'm moving over, very slight movement of my body. And that's what gives it the energy, but it's gentle. And breathing is one where you do, it's natural. It's not like you breathe in one way and breathe out the other. It's just what comes natural. And at the end of this movement, to end it again, you come back, push forward, and then we bring both hands back to the centre and resting with our hands nice and soft, palms up at waist level. At the end of punching, you bring the hands back to the centre and just keeping a nice, gentle and relaxed hand, palms up again. Now we're going to go into the next movement. The next form is flying like a goose. And this, I love this one because it's so floaty once you really get the balance and everything. So you're going to imagine you're a bird, and birds have beautiful wings. And with the goose, we're going to allow our hands and arms to be just floating as we move through the movement. So from here, bring the hands down towards the dantian on either side, palms up. Coming round, opening our arms, our palms are down. As we come up, you can see my hands are still pointing, my fingers are pointing down to the floor. Coming up towards the end of the movement, my elbows bend and my hands come up. And as they come up towards this point at the end of the movement, I bring my arms back down. Coming in towards the dantian and turn my hands towards my, to face upwards, bringing them up and then pushing back down, doing the whole movement again. Raising up, hands down, and raising down. This is such a beautiful, almost ballet type movement with the arms. Once you get yourself using this movement and you're quite comfortable doing this, and it feels very floaty, we go on to the next part. You're going to raise up onto your toes. Now, in order to do this, it can be quite difficult when you're moving your arms to get balance when you come up onto your toes. I'm not going to rise up too far, but enough to keep me balanced and then come back down again. My knees are soft, okay, I'm not looking them back. From this point, starting the movement, my knees bend, coming down slightly. As I rise up and lift my arms, I'm lifting my body up onto my toes. And at the end of that, as I come back down, I slowly go back down onto my heels. And again, down through my knees, I've bent my knees a little bit more so that I can push up through my whole body, all the way up through my fingers, all the way up through my head, all the way down. And then as I come back, I go back down onto my heels. So from the side, this movement begins sinking down through the knees, raising up through the knees, feet and the knees as I raise up onto my toes, and then I sink slowly down. So from here, think about coming up off the foot, off the heel, coming up off the heel. We're going to slightly straighten the legs, but still keep the knees soft. So as you come up, coming up, my knees are still soft, but powers off through my feet. And then I come back down again. Now, to be able to do this, to keep balance, if you stare at something, focus on it, and just look at that. Once you've got the movements and everything, you feel comfortable with that, stare at something, and that way you'll keep your balance. If you move your eyes from side to side, you're likely to go from side to side as well. So the best thing to do is stare at whatever you're looking at, stare at it as you come up, and as you come down, you will keep that balance. And at the end of this movement, we end up again with the hands at the waist. Number 16 in the Shibashi is spinning wheels. Now we're going to go one way 3 times and the other way 3 times. This one you need to be very careful of your back and your knees and your ankles when you're bending. You may only want to come down as far as that. Some people will go a little bit further. But the idea is not to do this. The idea is to use your legs. So when you're coming down through the legs. You're keeping balance through your feet. So to do this one, from here we come forward, bending my knees. Now I'm only going to go this far because at the moment my knees are a little bit sore. And this is one of the things, just as a little side thing, if you're doing Qigong, if you're cutting, don't over push it. Don't push it beyond and into more pain. That's not what Qigong is about. So for me today, I'm just going to go here. Sometimes I can go a bit lower, but this is fine, and this is fine too. So we're going to start here, bringing my hands down together, down through the centre, and I'm going to slightly take my weight into my left leg as I turn my body towards the left. And as I do that, you can see my right hand turns and comes forward. And as I do that, I'm now going to raise up my right hand and lift my left hand with it, keeping it the same distance apart, over my head and round. Now you'll see I'm leading with my right hand still. I've shifted my weight over into the right leg so that I can come round. Then I come back to the centre. As I come back to the centre, my hands come back to the centre too. So you can see there's a twist in this movement. As we come round and twist over by shifting my weight into the leg, that leg. So it's the left leg, turning, lifting up with the right arm, above the head, and still leading with my right arm as I come down. My weight is now over into the right leg. I'm coming down, and then I turn to twist back to the centre. Again, leaving the weight across, turning, lifting above my head, coming down, taking the weight over into the other leg, and twist back to the centre. I'm going to go the other way. To do that, take the weight into my right leg, turning and leading with my left leg as I go up towards the right, above my head, coming all the way down, still leading with my left hand till I get to the bottom, and then I turn. Coming up, breathing in, and breathe out. And turn, and rise up. And at the end of this movement, we come back to the centre, turning our body to face forward, rising up through the legs to rest. And that's spinning wheels. Okay, we're at number 17 of the 18 forms. So from this one, we're going to bounce ball. And again, it's about balance. This one is really clever in that we lift one leg and use the arm of the opposite arm on the leg we lift to help give us balance. So we're going to move the weight to begin with, into the right leg. And as I do this, I'm going to scoop out with my right hand. And as I do this, and I'm aware my weight is now very much in this leg, and I want to keep balance. I'm going to lift the left leg. I'm coming up onto the toe. My hand is coming across the body. And as I lift my hand up, I lift the leg. And then as I put it back down, I turn and push my hand to put it back to its resting place. Now, this takes a bit of practice because you're getting into one leg, moving into and lifting like this. It's not done quite as slowly as that. I wanted you to see how the movement works. So I'm taking the weight, scooping out with my right hand. As I come across my body, I'm lifting my left leg up with my right hand. Now, doing that enables me to kind of feel as if I'm pulling my leg up. Pushing it back down allows me, pushing my hand back down allows me to place my leg back down. Doing it the opposite side, shifting my weight over into the left leg, I scoop up with my left hand to lift my right leg. I pull it up, and then as I push my hand back down, I put my leg down. There's more to this though, because you're going to do a little hop. And the hop comes from the little leg you put your weight into. So when I move my weight over into my right leg, lifted my left leg, brought it up, I'm going to lift the heel of my right leg to do a little bounce, and then place my leg back. Doing it on the other leg, lifting and shifting the weight, lifting the leg, hop, put back down. But you're going to use your arms to do this as well. So it's quite complex. Getting the balance again is quite hard because if you're not used to standing on one leg, it takes a lot of practice. So it might be just getting yourself used to this, is hold on to a chair so that you can do that little hop. Get yourself just doing that. Give yourself an idea of what it feels like to do that movement. So do the whole thing. Weighting to the right leg, lifting my leg with my hand as I come round, lifting the leg, hop, push back down. Taking the weight over and only lift the leg when you feel you've got that balance in your other leg. So come over to the left, lifting my right leg, hop, push back down. And again, shift the weight up onto the toe, lift the leg, push it back down. Now you can see I've got quite a lot of good balance here. I am allowing this to be a very smooth lifting, hop, push back down. Lifting, hop, push back down. From this side, easier to do on the left leg. So I'm going to lift my left leg. As I do, get this right. So I'm going to take the weight into my right leg, using my right hand and lifting my left leg, hop, push back down. Lift, push back down. Now you notice there I had a little bit of a wobble because I wasn't concentrating. I didn't have my weight correctly in this leg when I did that little bit of movement. And it's very important to feel that you've got that good balance before you lift the leg and are able to do that hop. Again, it's quite good once you've got all the little sequences to stare at something when you do this. I'm staring at the camera, so it's really good. I can lift my leg. Sorry, I'm doing the wrong leg. This way. I'm lifting, I'm hopping, and I'm putting down. I'm staring at the camera because it gives me a little bit more focus. I'm not allowing my eyes to wander, because when you do that, you're going to fall over. Stare at something, get your sequence together, and that's how you'll be able to do bouncing the ball. And at the end of that, we lift the left leg, bounce, we come back to rest. Our arms are hanging by our side, and that takes us to the final movement. And then we've come to the final form, number 18, is gathering the chi. With our arms are left hanging at the side, and as we finish this movement, we're going to bring the chi back to the centre of the body. From here, our knees just bend slightly, arms come out to the side, palms up, looking above the head. Watch your hands as they come back down through the centre of the body. Now from here, as you come down, your knees will bend a little bit more, so that when you're going to push forward, push back up again, you will have brought your body down, and then you will slightly, very slightly tip forward, so that when you take the weight out, you're pushing back up again in that forward movement. So from here, you can see again my body is kind of making a circular movement as well as my arms. Pushing forward and out and up as I raise my hands above my body. So from here, I'm sinking down, pushing up, keeping my knees soft. I allow this energy to come all the way down through my body to the dantian. Sinking down, I'm looking at my hands. I'm pushing back up. I'm breathing in, and then I'm breathing out. We do this movement 6 times, and each time, if you can, take a deeper breath and slowly, slowly breathe out to the end of the movement. And at the end of the movement, we rest our hands in front of the dantian, this point between your umbilicus and your pupil. They rest as if you're holding a chi ball in front of the body, just away from the dantian. Fingers loose but spread. And we're holding this energy at this point. Our body should be nicely balanced, and if you can, close your eyes and rest for a few minutes. And that is the end of the 18 forms. I hope you've enjoyed watching the Shibashi 18 forms and the breakdown of all the movements. If you are interested in learning more about Qigong and mindfulness, as well as some of the other exercises that we do, or Qigong exercises that we do in practice, then please do visit my website. There will be more information there, and I hope you have a wonderful time enjoying what we have produced here today. Thank you very much.